right, let's hit the field.
Well, game 2 is in the books between the Yankees and the Brewers, and the Yankees offense was simply not around today. 3 home runs to lead off the game, a historic day for the Yankees offense, a grand slam for the captain. We'll talk about all of it right now. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. What a game. For my money, there are not many days longer throughout the course of the calendar than that built-in off day after opening day. I know they do it to prepare for weather in case opening day gets snowed out or rained out. But today proved to be worth the wait. A record, team record, 9 home runs for the Yankees. Aaron Judge is on pace for 243 home runs this season. He almost hit 4. He almost hit 4 home runs today. Couple more Cheerios, as Ken Singleton used to say, and he would have had another home run. Pretty good day. Pretty good. We all wondered last year what would happen when he had 58 home runs if he had had a hot April. If he had gotten off to a better start and had a month that was more like the rest of his season. What would he have done? Well, we might be about to find out in 2025. Hell of a start for Aaron Judge. And, until he hit the 3rd home run, I was going to give the belt to Nestor Cortes Jr. So spoiler alert, I think we know who's getting the belt today. But this one was wild from the very beginning. Back-to-back home runs to begin the game. 3 pitches, all fastballs. None of them fast enough, apparently. I told my friend that if this happened on MLB The Show, I would turn up the difficulty and probably exit the game because I would feel like it's all out of whack. Unbelievable. First time in history that the Yankees have hit 3 home runs in a row to begin the game on 3 pitches. Also, second game in a row that history has been made at Yankee Stadium. It was Wells with a home run to lead off game 1. First time he'd ever hit leadoff. And then today, Paul Goldschmidt, first time he hits leadoff, he goes deep. You can't predict baseball, Susan. Only one problem with that. I did predict it.
That is destiny fulfilled.
That's right. Nostra Derek batting 1,000 this season. If you watched the voicemail show or listened to it yesterday, you would know that Paul Goldschmidt getting his first hit as a Yankee and having it be a home run off of Nestor Cortes. Only thing I got wrong was I thought it was going to go to right field. So, Nostra Derek, you get the clap. 4 home runs in the first inning. Austin Wells hit another home run. He went oppo-boppo. And we're not even at the recap portion of the show yet. So, today we're going to break down the Yankees' debut of their $218 million man, Max Fried. I thought he was okay. Didn't get much help from his defense. We should talk about the elephant in the room, which is the sloppy defense and the sloppy baseball that was played today. But a few quick news and notes before we get to the recap. We usually don't spend a lot of time on the opposing pitcher, but, since Nestor Cortes was still kind of pitching for the Yankees today, I thought that it would be good to mention him.
I'm breaking your balls a little bit.
Just breaking your balls there, Nestor. Obviously not the outcome he wanted, and I'm not going to be mean to Nestor. I like Nestor. I thought he did a great job with the Yankees. Despite what happened in the World Series, I mean, you can't hold a guy down forever because of that. I mean, he made a mistake pitch. It happens. Freeman hadn't really done much up to that point. In the series versus the Mets, he looked like a mummy. And, apparently he got the swing off on Nestor's fastball. And, that was pretty much the end of Nestor's career as a Yankee. At that point, you knew he was probably not coming back. He had some elbow issues, too, that we were worried about. They traded him for Devin Williams. And, I always thought he was a good Yankee. He always gave us solid starts. But anyway, Spencer Jones going to Double-A, not on the Triple-A roster. Giancarlo Stanton is hitting again. Aaron Boone said it's been a couple of good weeks for him. And Peraza, who went deep today, switched his number from 91 to 18. I always like when guys bring that number down. Remember, Austin Wells last year began as 88. He switched to 28. This year we saw Ben Rice go from 93 to 22. I know some people don't care about numbers. I do. I think it's fun to know what numbers guys have because the Yankees don't have names on their jerseys. So, if you have an older jersey, it's interesting to see who that becomes a new jersey of, right? So I have a Didi Gregorius jersey. It was 18, and now it's a Peraza jersey. Giancarlo Stanton, I want to talk about him for a second before we get to the recap because I feel like he's at a crossroads. He has to choose between two swings. Now, he made the adjustment, he said, last year during the playoffs. And it obviously was successful. He hit 7 home runs. He was the ALCS MVP, but he has to, make a choice now. Does he go back to the swing that hurt him, or does he intentionally go back to something that he switched away from, that he knows is ineffective? Right? What's the point of staying healthy if it means you're going to be a ghost of yourself at the plate? If you're not dangerous, you're just available. I would rather him be dangerous. So I say throw caution to the wind and continue with whatever adjustments that he made. And again, we don't really know exactly what those adjustments were. I haven't seen any in-depth reporting on that. I would love to hear about it. But, he's facing a real challenge. Finding a version of himself that doesn't break down and doesn't break his ability to be as dangerous as we know he can be. My hope is that we'll see him again before Memorial Day, but, we'll see how that shakes out. All right, let's get to the recap.
All right, let's go. Let's get it going.
That is not a typo. The Yankees won this game 20-9. 20 runs in the second game of the season. And you might remember last year they beat the hell out of the Brewers in Milwaukee. I'm glad to see that they still continue to hand out those good old-fashioned passionate ass whoopings to the Brewers, who are a good team, by the way. But the Yankees were all over them today. This game was like one of those games played at 1995 Coors Field. The ball was just flying. There was a routine fly to right field at one point, and Judge started jogging in. And then he had to retreat and go about 15 feet. The ball was absolutely drifting and blowing out. But, we talked about the first inning, the historic first inning, 3 home runs in a row, the 4th home run by Wells. I am so jealous of our guy Frankie Baseball and our guy Aiden Deschamps, my social media guy, because they were both at this game. I was actually at the game the last time Judge hit 3 home runs, and Aiden was there. That's the first time we met in person. So, Aiden, dude, I'm going to buy you season tickets. Every time you go, 3 home runs from Aaron Judge. And a grand slam today from the big man. And when he had 3 home runs in the 4th inning, you're thinking, all right, he's going to have multiple chances for number 4. He took one in his 5th at bat right to the wall. It bounced off the wall. I mean, almost a 4 home run game. Pretty close there in the 6th inning. A double. Just a monster day for the captain. As far as the greatest hitters ever, Aaron Judge is putting himself in the conversation. If he has another 320 average, 450 on base percentage, 700 slugging, 55 to 65 home runs, or even more, right now I mentioned he's on pace for 243 home runs or something. If he does that, again, you have to consider him one of the greatest hitters of all time. Ian 1216 with the super chat says, El Capitan, not once, not twice, but thrice. Whatever he hits, he destroys. Big day. Austin Wells went deep again, 2 games in a row with home runs for him. Anthony Volpe hit his 2nd home run in as many games, a 3-run shot. I found this great picture online of the two of them. And for those of you listening, it's a photo of Mantle and Maris from 1961. So, Anyway, these guys are swinging noticeably harder. A lot of guys on our team look like they're just really swinging hard. I wonder if it wasn't just Giancarlo Stanton that made bat adjustments, whatever that means. He's the only one whose body seems to have fallen apart afterwards. But the offense, I thought, covered up for some sloppy baseball, errors all over the field. The Yankees made 5 errors today. 5.
We spend $250 billion a year on defense.
Brewers got a couple of runs in the 2nd inning. Volpe threw one away that allowed a run to score. Fried threw one away. On the Volpe play, it was interesting. In spring training, Jazz Chisholm had a similar play where they were attempting to turn a double play, and he jumped and hurdled the runner and threw the ball to first base, and he threw it away, and a run scored. And I mentioned on the postgame that during the regular season, you would hope that he would hold on to that. I don't know if Volpe was playing next to him in that game, but same thing goes for Volpe. You don't need to make that play, right? I mean, it's fun. I get to try and hurdle and make the throw like that, but you're not going to get a speedy runner. It's just an ill-advised throw. You're better off just holding on to the baseball at that point. We'll talk more about Max Fried in a second. I thought he pitched okay. Yankees continue to look inebriated on the field. Didn't help him out very much. Dominguez, I thought, had some really patient at-bats today from the right side. He doesn't hit well from the right side from what we've heard and seen statistically, but he's got a better eye from the right side, I think. He's much more patient. He did have a base hit from the left side today. He was 1 for 3 with a couple of walks, and he runs the bases. Like, we had some comments today about how fast he was. I mean, he's really moving on. He's a good base runner, and it's good to see the Yankees have another good base runner. Cody Bellinger ran the base as well. He had a good game. Bellinger was 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs scored, hitting a cool .571 to begin the season. Tops on the Yankees with a 1,500 OPS. Judge's OPS right now is 2,100. Wells is 1,800. Peraza, I guess, is 5,000, but he's only had 1 at bat. But he did go deep. So, Peraza, I mean, guy doesn't hit all spring training, and then he smokes the Yankees' 9th home run of the game, a record for the Yankees, by the way. Team record. I'm jealous I wasn't at this game. I really am. And then his final at bat, Aaron Judge came up looking for his 4th home run of the game, and he was trying for it against Jake Bauers, who threw him a curveball. Position player. Threw him a curveball and got him out, but he hit it about, 350 feet. Just had too much spin on it. But anyway, I feel like Clay Holmes could have probably closed this one out for the Yankees. Hell, Kyle Farnsworth probably could have closed this one out. Yankees, 2-0.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
All right, so we got a comment here from Juti that says, how about Nestor Cortez making his first start in Yankee Stadium since leaving the Yankees and getting lit up? We talked a little bit about that. He didn't leave the Yankees. The Yankees left him. They traded him. But I appreciate the comment. All right, on to everybody's favorite part of the show because it means the Yankees have won. We have to give out the belt officially. I think there's not much mystery about this one. Mr. Aaron Judge. First belt of the year for Judge. And like I said, until he hit his 3rd home run, it was going to Nestor Cortez as kind of a joke. But great day for Aaron Judge. The ball was absolutely flying today in the Bronx. Am I out of line on dreaming about 70 home runs from Judge this year? I feel like it's one of those things like if you tell somebody you saw a ghost and you say, I woke up and there was a ghost in my room. People are like, whatever. If you say you got abducted by aliens, people are like, come on, man. You didn't get abducted by aliens. I get the same feeling of shame and embarrassment when I say, I think Aaron Judge can hit 70 home runs. But you know what? I think he can.
More of that, please.
All right, let's talk about Max Fried and his debut. I know a lot of you were really looking forward to this. So one of the things about Max Fried is that he's a great defensive pitcher. Historically, he did make an error today. But I always like those guys. Those guys are fun. Mike Mussina was one of those guys. Mariano Rivera was one of those guys. I'm sure there are other defensive pitchers that come to mind for the Yankees. I remember Kenny Rogers and Javier Vasquez were both supposed to be good defensive pitchers, but it's hard to, play defense against a 438-foot home run. Anyway, first pitch of the game, a little number right back at him. He made the play. He did make an error later in the game. Yankees had a lot of trouble with soft contact today. It's a good thing that they're inducing soft contact. But as you can see, 6 runs allowed for Max Fried, but only 2 of them earned because the defense really let him down. I thought the curveball was good. The fastball had some life. It was fast. It 98.2 max velo today. He had 10 swings and misses, and he gets the no decision. I was elated that Joe Girardi was in the booth today because he managed against Max Fried. No doubt spent a lot of time, studying the binder on Max Fried. But he also understands both pitching and catching as well as any announcer out there. And he articulates what he notices better than most. So I love when he's in the booth. And every time that Fried would do something today, big curveball, nice pickoff move, they would cut to the slow-mo and Girardi would break it down. That's why, yes, in my opinion, is the best coverage for baseball of any of the regional sports networks. I mean, they're just the best. But pretty solid day for Max Fried. I'm sure he would have liked to have gotten the win. He did have 94 pitches. We got a call about that.
Hey, it's MB again. And you know what? I would have left Fried in. I would have let him get the win, for goodness sakes. 94 pitches. Come on, let him get the win. I wouldn't have taken him out. All right, Dal, bye.
Yeah, I think I would have left him in to get that W. I mean, 94 pitches. These are professional pitchers. He's getting paid $218 million. Let him throw 6 more pitches. Let him get to 100 pitches. If you want to pull him after another batter, but let him try and get that last out, for crying out loud. He had a 10-run lead. I know wins don't matter in baseball, but it matters to someone's confidence. And he deserved better. He deserved a W today. But I guess the Yankees, I mean, they just don't care at all about, pitching statistics wins, right? They just don't care about that. But, hey, debut win for the Yankees for Max Fried. Good enough. All right, let's talk a little bit about this offense, the power display. Look, the Yankees had a ton of problems with lefties last year. You know, Giancarlo Stanton was one of the more deadly hitters against lefties, and he is out for at least probably a couple of months. Soto, Gleyber Torres, two of the Yankees' better hitters against lefties. Obviously, they still have Judge, but we're going to need some guys to pick up the slack. I'm seeing that Volpe had some really good swings today against lefties. Goldschmidt had a great day at the plate. Goldschmidt was 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored and a walk. He's got a 1301 OPS to start the season. And that's important for him. He got off to a really slow start last year. If you go back and watch the highlights or look through his game logs, his start was horrendous. It was just horrendous. He picked it up in the second half, but it's good for him and for the confidence to get off to a good start. Bellinger had no problems, obviously, with Cortez. His home run was long. I didn't see what the StatCast number was on it. They didn't put up the distance. I think it might have broke StatCast, but he hit it over the bullpen and up into the bleachers. Aaron Judge, obviously, best player on earth and by extension in the known universe, can hit lefties. And without Soto and Gleyber Torres, not only do they need these guys to do the job, but they got to have some other guys step up. You know, it'd be nice if Dominguez could get hot from the right side of the plate. He's obviously a good left-hander, but I do like that he's patient against lefties. But home runs today from Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, 3 from Judge, 1 from Wells, 1 from Volpe, 1 from Jazz, and 1 from Peraza. So, good day for the Yankees on offense. Spencer Jones, let's talk a little bit about him. He got sent back to Double-A. This is a make-or-break season for him as the Yankees' number 3 prospect. You look at his numbers last year, they don't blow you away. 259 average, 17 home runs, 789 OPS. Now, 200 strikeouts is just far too many for Double-A. I thought he had a pretty good spring, but I think the Yankees like their prospects to conquer a level before they move them up, right? They like these guys to, really dominate a level. And he didn't do that at Double-A. So my guess is they're going to start him at Double-A, and the second he gets hot, they'll move him up. But not the best situation. Like, repeating a level in the minor leagues is kind of like getting left back in 9th grade. You're probably not going to be the valedictorian, right? If you repeat a level in the minor leagues, things aren't going particularly well. So let's hope that he turns it on. Big prospect. We see the kind of power that somebody of his size can produce in Aaron Judge. It'd be nice to have that from the left side, but the strikeout rate has got to come down. And the Yankees' defense today was not good. 5 errors is far too many. They got away with it because they swung the bat so well, but they have just simply got to play better on defense. Yes, it's a fun win. Yes, everybody's going to remember the 20 runs, and nobody's going to remember the 5 errors except for the people who watch it every day like we do. But the Yankees have got to play better baseball. I do think that they're showing better signs on the bases, and I do think that obviously they have a pretty good offense. Losing a generational talent like Soto definitely impacts the offense, but I think they've made up for it in other areas. But the sloppiness, not what you want. All right, quick word from our sponsor today, True Classic. It is from yours truly, and then we'll be back to take a few more voicemails and a few comments from you guys. I got to give a shout out to today's sponsor, True Classic. If you're looking for clothes that don't break the bank and actually fit, True Classic is the move. I am wearing a True Classic shirt right now. Since they sent me a package of them, I've been wearing them pretty much nonstop because they are so comfortable. They're light. They fit well. As you can see, they form to the body well. I've lost a bunch of weight lately, and I just needed some transitional clothing, and they came along at the perfect time. They have long sleeves. They have short sleeves. It's great for taking a walk, for when you go to the gym, or when you're just hanging around the backyard with your dog. So whether you are layering up and getting ready for winter, or trying to relax and enjoy the cool breeze in the springtime or the summertime, True Classic is the way to go. Visit trueclassic.com/stripe. trueclassic.com/stripe and elevate your wardrobe today. All right, got a couple of super chats and we'll get to your voicemails. So Mark Stenruse says, here's to another great season of NYY recaps, pinstripe territory. I hear you. We have been pinstripe territory since August 12th of last year. I used to associate that day with the strike of 94. Now I associate it with that. DG says, El Duque defense. Duque, who could forget when he got a bouncer back to him, it got stuck in his glove and he threw his entire glove to first base. I've seen that a few times, but I loved El Duque. I miss El Duque. All right, so Dante Lozada says, me and every other Yankees fan who said we should get Bellinger instead of Soto, and then it's just like a bunch of cool emojis and smirk emojis. I hear you, man. Val in NY says, Reyes didn't score any points with his defense today. He also didn't do anything offensively.
He can't hit for nothing.
Starlight says, what do you expect having Pablo Reyes at third? He's a stiff over there. I mean, he did not look good. And then Jack Amir says, trade Jones, too many holes. Well, other teams see the holes too, so you'd be selling low. Best bet is for the Yankees to try and develop Jones. I don't think you're going to get much for him. Okay, let's get a couple of calls here. It's from Brian.
What's going on, Derek? It's Brian. Man, what a mixed bag of feelings this game has been. I love to see, obviously, every time the Yankees come out and just smother the opponent and hit home runs all over the place. But in my heart of hearts, I'm still kind of a little bit disappointed. Like they learned nothing from that fifth inning last year in the World Series. And these guys are just choking on every ground ball hit in the infield when you have Max Fried pitching his balls off, who's a ground ball pitcher. What are we doing? Why is this guy Pablo Reyes even out? I thought the third base job was going down between the Oswalds, Oswaldo Cabrera and Oswald Peraza.
It was Oswald!
Why is this guy even out there?
I appreciate the call. I'm going to cut you off there. He goes on to rant for a few more minutes as we look at the box score here. 20 runs for the Yankees on 16 hits. I thought maybe Peraza would get the start today with Max Fried on the mound because he's so elite defensively. I would not be shocked if that was Reyes' first and last appearance with the New York Yankees. Just horrendous. Horrendous. Got another call here.
Hey, Derek, this is Joe from Connecticut. Watching the Yankee game. This is awesome. 7 home runs, but my God, could this team not field to save their life? Do they even practice it? Just want your thoughts. It's insane.
Practice?
Right.
You talking about practice? Good call. Practice? We're talking about not the game. Practice?
I have you now.
Here's Eddie from Florida.
Yeah, Derek. Hey, Eddie down here in Florida. Third inning today. I can't believe this. You think the Yankees miss Soto? I think they got plenty of lumber on it. This is great. I'm looking forward to your show.
Appreciate it. Eddie, I always look forward to doing it after a game like this. I look forward to it less when the Yankees are on the other end of a beatdown because we get a lot of negativity in here. But, we got to think about this year. The proper way to watch a baseball season, right? There's going to be ups and downs. We can't get too high on a victory like this, and we can't get too low on the losses that are sure to come. But there's lots of ups and downs, peaks and valleys. In the end, you want to get to the playoffs and have a chance to win a World Series, as we see the cat jumping behind me. And final call of the day about Nasty Nestor.
Hey, good to see Nasty Nestor still in World Series form.
Yeah, obviously, tough day for Mr. Nasty. But not a tough day for the Yankees. How about one more time?
Yankees win.
Yankees 2-0 on the season. Cameron says the shows are better when we lose. I disagree. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you on that. But as Ayana Stunna says, final word says, it is a marathon, not a sprint. You got that right, my friend. As always, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You'll hear my spiel as part of the outro. But seriously, follow us on all your favorite podcast platforms. Follow us on Pinstripe Territory on X and on Instagram, all that great stuff. Great day for the captain, and we'll see you next time. Hey, while I've got you here, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Pinstripe Territory is the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We are home to the #1 most watched MLB postgame show on YouTube since 2021. We're here after every Yankees game and for reactions to all the best news and rumors during the offseason. Be a part of the show by calling into the voicemail 718-899-1068. Try to keep it clean for me. And if you ever miss us on YouTube, be sure and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars. It'll help other people find the show. Thanks for watching. See ya.